All right. Hey, everybody. As you can see, I am in code.org. This is lesson 5 of unit 1. And you guys have access to this, they call it an odometer, um, oh, okay, as well. You might be familiar with an odometer, and it's a little different now that we have newer cars, but when you're driving, the odometer keeps track of how many miles that you've gone, and it kind of does this like rotating thing where it keeps increasing. And today we're going to talk about what's called overflow. What happens when you've reached the end of your display and you want to keep adding numbers? That's what an overflow is. Now you can adjust the speed of this. I'm gonna have it go nice and slow to start, and I just want you to pay attention to the decimal row here. These numbers are going to be changing as well, and hopefully binary looks familiar to you. But right now, I just want you to focus on decimal because that is what we're most familiar with. So I'm going to click start, and it's just rotating and counting up and up and up and up. Now, I'm at 9, okay? The next number, I don't have a next number. So to make it bigger, we are going to add a digit, right? Now we're going to see what comes next. We're going to see a 1 here and a 0 here. Okay, so I'm going to click start, just like we said. It's going to keep counting up and up and up and up. Okay, I'm at a 9 again. And instead of increasing this, what happens? This goes up by 1, and this goes back to 0. 20. And the process continues. Now I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Until here. Okay, go back to slow. And we hit 90. Oops. Shoot. Okay. When we hit 99, I know I just missed it. Oh, I guess I can set it here. When we hit 99, both of these digits are at their maximum. So it overflows into the next digit and becomes 100. Okay? So this is the idea of overflow. Now, let's reset it and take a look at binary. Binary overflows a lot faster because we're only dealing with 2 different numbers, a 0 and a 1. And once you get to 1, you have to overflow into the next bit, right? When we're in binary, we call them bits. So let's just start counting here. So 1. Now, after 1, it has to go back to 0, which means we're going to overflow into the next one. 1, 1, these are both at their maximum, so now you can see it starting to come up here. It's going to overflow into the third bit, and we're at 100. Now, what's our next number going to be? It's going to be 101. Overflow. Now, 111, we got to go into the next bit, 1000. Okay, so what I would recommend is just for you to play around with this. You can access it in code.org. Some of you might be thinking, what is hexadecimal? What is octal? Hexadecimal is base 16. Okay, so let's just actually keep this going here. And you can see we actually get numbers in here. It goes all the way up to F. So there's 16 different numbers that you can have. Octal is base 8. Okay. Later in the year, we're definitely going to talk about hexadecimal, but primarily we deal with decimal and binary. One last thing that you really should be aware of is that every time you add a bit, okay, every time you add a bit, you double the numbers. Okay, you double the possibility. So, say for example, I have 100. Well, if you use your flippy do, you would know that that gives us 4. Well, 1000 is 8. If I add another bit, that gives me 16, and so on. So every time you add a bit, every time it overflows, it doubles. It doubles the possible numbers that we can make. And that's a key idea that comes up a lot. So I would recommend go into code.org, lesson 1.5, and see if you can find this odometer and just play around with it for a little bit and just see if you notice any patterns on your own.